Hi guys, welcome to Worms Maths Academy. This is 2017 Northern Hemisphere Exam 2 for Maths Methods. I've done the multiple choice on another video, so this is um, the extended response. Okay, the temperature in an office is controlled for a particular weekday. The temperature at time t is given by this. After midnight, 19 plus 6 sine pi on 12 t minus 8. Plus 6 sine t on 12 on pi on 12 x minus 8. We use x so if we want to graph it, define it as f of x. Let's make sure nothing's wrong. That all looks good. Okay, what are the minimum and maximum temperatures in the office? So our center is 19, so we add 6, our amplitude, to get 25, and we subtract 6 to get, actually, we should put it here. So center is 19, plus 6 is 25 degrees Celsius max, minus 6 is 13 degrees Celsius min. What is the temperature in the office at 6 a.m.? No working needed. F of 6, make sure your calculator's in radians. 16 degrees Celsius. Most of the people working in the office arrive at 8 a.m. What's the temperature when they arrive? That's a hard one with a Kaz. It's 19 degrees when they arrive. For how many hours is the temperature greater than or equal to 19 degrees? So T of T is greater than or equal to 19 degrees. Therefore, actually we can just solve it. So solve f of x is equal to 19. Come down. Doesn't really matter. F of x, interactive, advanced, solve, is equal to 19. Okay, and then we put given 0 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 24. So 8 to 20. Let's just go in and draw our graph. F of x. Actually, we could have just used that thing from that side. So given 0 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 24. Zoom auto. Actually, change your domain to go from 0 to 24. And then click OK. Then go zoom auto, and it should lock in the ends. Okay, so if I put in 19, we can see 8 is here, and then 20 is there. So what does the question ask? For how many hours of the day is the temperature greater than? It's from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Therefore, 12 hours. What's the average rate of change of temperature between 8 and noon? So the average rate of change. So that's going to be T of 12 minus T of 8 on 12 minus 8. So F of 12 minus F of 8 on 12 minus 8. Root 3 root 3 on 4. Degrees Celsius per hour. Okay, find T dash of T. This is all calculator stuff so far, which is nice and easy. So pi on 2 got to remember to use t's. Yep. So pi on 2 cos pi on 12 minus 8 t minus 8. Is that right? Okay, what time of the day is the temperature in the office decreasing most rapidly? So let's sketch that. Decreasing, so it's got to have a negative gradient. Decreasing. So it's going to be here. It'll be when the second derivative equals 0. There. Let's derive it again. At what time of the day is the temperature in the office decreasing most rapidly? So we want when it's got its steepest gradient, which is when the second derivative equals 0. So d dx of that when does it equal 0? Analysis g solve root. Eight and 20. Okay, so t double dash of t equals 0. Therefore, t equals 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. New question. X minus 2 squared, x minus 5. So let's scrap all this. FGKA. X minus 2 squared. Was it x plus 5? X minus 5. Define that as f of x. Derive it. I think that's what it said. 3x squared minus 18x. Plus 24. For what values is the gradient less than 0? So less than 0, between 2 and 4. Find the gradient of the line segment joining the points where x equals 1 and 5. 5 minus f of 1 on 5 minus 1, which is 4. So m equals 1. Show that the midpoint of the part in C1 also lies. So we've got the point 1 something, and we've got the point 5 something. What's f of 5? F of 1. Okay, the midpoint is 5 plus 1 on 2, 0 minus 4 on 2, which is 3, negative 2. f of 3 is equal to 3 minus 2 squared, 3 minus 5, which is 1 times negative 2, which equals negative 2. Therefore, 3 negative 2 lies on f of x. Not exactly rocket science, is it? Find the values of x which the gradient of the tangent to the graph of f of x is equal to the gradient of the line segments where x equals 1. So, f dash of x equals 1. Therefore, x equals d dx f of x equals 1. Solve. Okay, so 3 minus 2 root 3. So 3 plus or minus 2 root 3 on 3. Find the x values. Okay. The coordinates of the stationary points of G are 2 and then that. Find the values of P and Q. Okay, G of x is x minus 2 squared x minus a. X minus a. Defined as G. So check and make sure A is not defined. Okay. The coordinates of the stationary points of G are 2. So we can say G dash of 2 equals 0. G dash of P, A plus 1, is equal to 0. And we can say G of 2 is equal to 0. And then G of Q, A minus 2. That also equals 0. No. This P, A plus 1 equals Q, A minus 2 cubed. Okay, let's try to put it all in. Not sure if this will do all that, but only one way to find out. 4 equations. So we know G d dx of G of x equals 0 when x equals 2. We know d dx of G of x equals 0 given x equals P times A plus 1. We know G of 2 is equal to 0, and we know G of Q, P, A plus 1. So G of that. Okay, and that equals Q times a minus 2 cubed. I want to solve for p, comma, q. So p is 2 over 3, q is negative 4 and 27. So therefore p is negative, it's 2 and 3, and q negative 4 and 27. So p and q are rational numbers. What's the significance of can p equal that and q equals 0? If q equals 0, two on a plus 1, q and p will be the same points. I don't know if you get what I mean, but if we let p, if p equals 1 on a plus 1, then if we times that by a plus 1, it must be 2, so then I would get 2, and then if I put that into here, I get 0, so I'd get the point 2, 0. Let me think about that. I don't know, it doesn't say that q and p can't be the same point, but if they were equal, then q and p would be the same point. Show that the gradient of the tangent of the graph at G at the point A is positive for A is all real numbers except 4. Okay, so show that G dash of A is equal to G dx given x equals A. Okay, so x minus 2, 3x, x minus 2, 3x minus 2a minus 2. So that's G dash of x. G dash of A is A minus 2, 3A minus 2A minus 2, which is A squared minus 4A plus 4, which is A minus 2 squared. Therefore, as A minus 2 squared is greater than equal to 0, for A is an element of all real numbers except for 2, then A0 is, and the gradient G dash of A0 is greater than 0. g dash of a0 is greater than 0 for a is an element of all reals except for 2. Find the coordinate of the points where the parallel to the tangent at x equals a. Okay. So we want to find another point where another point is equal to that. So if I let g dash of x equal, what do we get? A minus 2 all squared. Is equal to minus 2 squared. Solve for x. 8 minus a on 3. So let's find the coordinates. We want f of that value. Okay, minus a plus 7. A minus 2 squared on 27. So therefore, 8 minus a on 3 minus a plus 7 a minus 2 squared on 27. Don't know if I've copied that down right. A plus 7 a minus 2 squared did I stuff something up? I want G, not F. Did I call it F or G? G. That's better. Negative 4 a minus 2 cubed on 27. Why did I think that was wrong? Because I've seen a similar question to this before on a VCAA exam, and I remembered this being the turning point. Hence, find the distance between this point and the point Q when a is greater than 2. This point. So, I've got that point, and then the point Q. What's the point Q? Bloody hell. Okay, so we've got 8 minus a on 3 and negative 4 a minus 2 cubed on 27. And then the other point Q is P is 2, so a plus 1. And then the other one was, what was it, negative 4 on 27? Negative 4 on 27 is a minus 2 cubed. Okay, so we've got to find the distance between those 2 points. Distance is, I'm not going to show working out because I can't be stuffed. So, do we have that other point? So 2/3 of a plus 1. That. Minus 2 divided by 3. Oh, I just realized that and that are the same. So the YV is going to be the same, so the distance is just between the x values. So it's 8 minus A on 3 minus 2/3 A minus 2/3 and then the length of that. So the magnitude of that. Okay, negative A on 3 minus 2A on 3 is negative 3A on 3, which is negative A. And then I've got 8/3 minus 2/3, which is 6/3. Which is 2 minus A. But we know A is greater than 2. So that's going to be negative. So therefore the distance is A minus 2. Because if that's greater than 2, then that whole thing is going to be negative, but which the magnitude of that I want to make it positive, so it's going to be A minus 2. It's got to become positive. Okay, a company school supplies schools with whiteboard pens. They'll tell you like the time for which whiteboard pen can be used before it stops working. It's called its use time. There are 2 types of whiteboard pens, grade A and grade B. Awesome. The use time of grade A is normally distributed with a mean of 11 and a standard deviation of that. Find the probability the grade A pen will have a use time greater than 10.5. Okay, so grade A. So we'll say A is normally distributed with a mean of 11 and a standard deviation of 15, so 15 squared. The probability that A is greater than 10.5 is equal to interactive distribution, continuous norm CDF, 10.5, infinity, remember we always go to infinity, 15, and was it 10 or 11? Mean was 11. 0.5133. There are 2 types of whiteboard grade. The use time of grade A whiteboard pens is normally just a mean of 3 and use time grade. Okay. Pretty sure that's right. Just checking the MBA scores. Oh, they won. Okay, yeah, I think that's right. Mean of 11, standard deviation of 15 minutes. Oh, hours and minutes, that's the thing. I knew something wasn't quite right. So one's in hour, one's in minutes. So 15 minutes. What's that, a quarter of an hour? So that's going to be 1/4 squared. So the probability that A is greater than 10.5. So the standard deviation is not 15, it's a quarter. 0.9772. What, there's something funky going on here. What am I missing? But one's in minutes, one's in hours, so you've got to create the same thing. Okay, the use of pens is that. Tell me the expected use. Okay, so your expected use time is x times x on 576 between 0 and 12 of 12 minus x e to the x on 6 minus 1 dx. Of course, Okay, I'm going to define that, f of x. So x on 576 times bracket 12 minus x e to the x on 6 minus 1 define it as f of x. Check and make sure nothing's wrong with it. Was it negative? How did the negative get there? Oh, 12 minus x became x minus 12. Okay, so we want to integrate. We want to integrate from 0 to 12 x times f of x. Ah, you stupid thing. So go down x, go to there. X times f of x dx. So 9e squared minus 51. Okay, that's the time in hours, and it says to 2 decimal places. Why would they do that? Okay, 7.75. It's kind of stupid, don't you think, when you can get the exact answer. Determine the standard deviation for the use time. Okay, the standard deviation, grade B, is the square root of e of x squared minus e of x all squared Okay, so that is e of x squared. So the square root of e of x squared, square root of e of x squared minus e of x all squared. Put a bracket there. .3058 2.31 hours. Don't have to write hours because it says give your answer in hours, but anyway. Okay, find the probability around which has grown have a use time greater than 10.5 hours. Grade B penalty have a use time greater than 10.5 hours. So 0 to, 10.5 to 12 f of x dx, which equals to 4 decimal places, 0.133.134. Okay, a worker at a company finds 2 boxes of whiteboard pens that are not labelled, but knows that one box contains only grade A whiteboard and the other box contains only grade A. Worker decides to randomly select a whiteboard pen from one of the boxes. If selected, the use time greater than, if the selected has then the box it came from will be labelled grade A, and the other box will be labelled grade B. Otherwise, if the box it came from will be labelled grade B, and the other box will label grade A. Find the probability that the worker labels the boxes incorrectly. So the probability that the boxes labeled incorrectly is if the probability of A and it's less than 10.5, or probability of B and greater than 10.5. So the probability of A and less than 10.5, that's a half, because there's a half a chance of getting that box, times less than 10.5. So that's greater than 10.5, so 1 minus that. 1 minus 0.9772 plus probability of B is a half. Greater than 10.5 is 0.1134. Okay. Times a half. So that value there times, I just did that times a half. What was the other one? The 0.9772. Where did that come from again? The start, just use continuous norm CDF. Continuous norms, norm CDF. So that was from 10.5 to infinity. That was a quarter, and that was 11. That's it. So 1 minus that times 0.5. So add that plus that one. So 0.0680. I think, how many decimal places did it want it to? 3. 680. So it wouldn't have mattered too much if we didn't use the right rounding. From the whiteboard pen selected was grade B, given that the boxes were labelled incorrectly. Probably the whiteboard pen selected was grade B, given labelled incorrect. So that's probability it's from grade B and incorrect over the probability of incorrect. So grade B and incorrect is a half times 0.1134 divided by 0.680. Was that right? 680? It doesn't seem right. 0.68. .068. So it's going to be that, was it that? Divided by 0.6, 3 decimal places, 0.167. What have I done? Half of that is 0.05, so it's got to be closer to 1. What is the point? That's it. I used the wrong value. 0.5 times paste on 0.8328. 8328, which is going to be 0.833 to 3 decimal places. Bloody hell, this question doesn't seem to finish. Okay, as a whiteboard pen ages, it may dry to the point where the whiteboard becomes unusable. a company stock that is 2 years old. The company has stock that's 2 years old, and it is known that 5% of the grade A pens will be defective. A school purchased a box of grade A pens that is 2 years old and a class of 26 students is first use them. If every student receives a whiteboard pen from this box, find the probability correct for at least one student. Okay. So 5% are defective, 26 students. So N is 26, P is 0.05, at least one. So let's say X is binomially distributed, 26, 0.05. The probability that X is greater than or equal to 1 is, at least this is easier, I don't want to think too much. Discrete binomial CDF. 1 to 26, 26, 26, 0.05, 0.7365, 4 decimal places. Jesus, why do they keep changing from one to the other? 0.7365. So that's the probability that at least one of them will have a defective pen. Let P hat of A be the random variable of the distribution of sample proportions of effective grade A whiteboard pens in boxes of 100. The boxes come from stock that is 2 years old. Find what the hell is this? Find what? Should say the probability. The proportion is greater than 0.04, given that it's less than 0.08. So let's say I'm going to say B is normally distributed. I've got 100 of them, 0.05. We want the probability that N is greater than, because it's 0.04, given B. B is less than 0.08. Okay, so I want the probability that 0.0, let's change it to not proportions to X values. So that's the probability that okay, that's P hat of A. That's P hat of A. This is B. So I want where they intersect, which is 5, is less than or equal to B, which is less than or equal to 7, over the probability that B 0 is less than or equal to B, which is less than or equal to 7. Okay. 5 to 7. Discrete. 5 to 7. 100. And the same thing, but this time from 0 to 7. So it's going to be that divided by that. So it's equal to 0. Is that right? To 4 decimal places? Yes. Okay, a box of 100 grade A1 that's 2 years old is selected and it's found that 6 of the whiteboard pens are defective. Okay. P hat is 6 on 10. 95% confidence interval. So N's 100. So my standard deviation is the square root of n, p, 6 on 10 times 4 on 10 over 100, which is 0.0237. So my confidence interval, I'm just going to use my CAS. What am I doing? Interval, 1 sample Z. Go back. Okay. X bar confidence level is 0.9. We want one prop Z. Confidence level is 0.9. X is 6. N is 100. Okay. 2 decimal places. 0.02 and 0.10. %, confidence interval. What's that? Okay, thank God that question's over because I didn't like it. Okay, new question. 4x minus x. Let's get rid of all this crap. 4 define it as f of x. Sketch it. And given 0 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 16. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, there's our function. State the maximum value. Okay, it wants it exact, so we want to go interactive calculation fmax between 0 and 16. 4. So here f dash of x equals 0, x equals 4, f of 4 is equal to 4, therefore 4 max value is 4. X equals 4 and the max value is 4. Sketch the graph. So when that went through 0, 16, 4, 4. That's a maximum. I'd probably trace it a little bit. So 1 trace. So 1, 1, 3. 9, 3. So that's 4, 4, 0, 0, 16. 0. It's defined at the endpoints, yep. Find the area of the region enclosed by the graph and the f and the x-axis. So, thank God this has gotten easier. 0 to 16. F of x dx. 128 on 3 square units. Let x be the point 16, 0. Triangles can be formed OXC and C is some point. Find the value of C for which the triangle has a maximum area and find this maximum area. Okay, so if I went up to here to some point C and created a triangle, then my height is just going to be f of x. So C equals x. F of C is equal to 4 root C minus C. Area is a half times 16 times f of C, which is 8 times 4 root C minus C. dA dC so it's the derivative of that multiplied by 4x 8. If you set that equal to 0 and then solve for x, what was dA dC? Negative 8 root C minus 2 on root C equals 0 for max slash min. Okay, so therefore negative 8 root C plus 16 equals 0. So root C is equal to 2. Therefore C equals 4. Find the value of C and find its maximum area. When C equals 4, area is 8 times f of C. So 8 times 4 root 4 minus 4. So it's 8 times 4 times 2 is 8 minus 4 is 4. So 8 fours, 32 square units. Okay, A and B are values on the domain of f such that f of B is equal to f of A. Assume B is greater than A. So that would mean like that point, because they're the same height, that point, etc., etc. Okay. Show that B okay, so if I said f of A is at 4 root A minus A, what the hell is it? F of B is 4 root B minus B. So we set them equal. 4 root A minus A is equal to 4 root B minus B. Okay, bring the roots to the other side. Okay, so I get 4 root A minus 4 root B is equal to A minus B. So 4 root A. Is this question ever end? God. 4 root A minus root B is equal to A minus B. I want to get B by itself. Okay, that Stuff this, we'll move that out of the way. I'm just going to write it again. So 4 root a minus a is equal to 4 root b minus b. 4 root a minus root b is equal to a minus b. I'm going to get 4 root a minus b is equal to, I'm going to do a difference of two squares, root a minus, what am I trying to do? Root a minus root b, root a plus root b is the same as that. So root a minus b, root a plus root b. So when we divide, they're going to cancel. So I get root a plus root b is equal to 4. So therefore root b is equal to 4 minus root a, and then b is equal to 4 minus root a all squared. Which, if I take out a negative, is equal to root a minus 4 squared. Not a big fan of that question. A rectangle is formed O, A, B, B, F of B, A naught, B naught, B, F of B, A, F of B. Find the area of this rectangle in terms of A. So it's like there, 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 there. So that's going to be B minus A, and then that's just going to be F of B or F of A. They're both going to be the same. So so our length, so that's B. So our base length, we said was B minus A, which is root A minus 4 squared minus A. And then our height is going to be F of A, which is 4 root A minus A. So our area as a rectangle is root A minus 4 squared minus A times 4 root A minus A. So what's F of X? This is so tedious. Okay, I had root A minus 4 all squared minus A. So root A minus 4 squared minus A times 4 root A minus A, 4 root A minus A. Simplify. A to the 3 on 2 minus 48A minus 64 root A. Is that right? Plus 64 root A. Find the values of A and B. Okay, so we want to maximize that. So I'll say dA, oh, that's not D, dA dA equals 0. So if we derive that with respect to A, I don't know that I get this done in time. 12A minus 48 root A plus 32 on root A equals 0. Therefore, A equals okay. Okay, so we've got those two values. 16 minus 8 root 3 on 3. And 16 plus 8 root 3 on 3. Okay, so that's the derivative. If I derive it again and sub in those values, I want to have a negative. So given let's do it again. That's negative, so that's got to be a maximum, which means the other one is positive, so it's got to be a minimum. Okay, so d squared a dA squared given x equals 16 minus 8 root 3. 3 is less than 0, therefore a equals 16 minus 8 root 3 on 3. Now b, how does it relate to a? It's root a minus 4 all squared. So b is equal to root a minus 4. The hell is it? Root a minus 4 all squared. So 16 on 3 minus 8 root 3. So the square root of a minus 4 squared given simplify. Try expand. So when I expand it, then do that. So I get 8 on 3, 2 minus root 3. B equals 8 on 3, 2 minus root 3. And A is 16 minus 8 root 3 on 3. Did I copy it right? That's supposed to be negative. So do that. Simplify your answer. Simplify your answer. Simplify, expand. Copy. Let's go down here. Paste. Paste. So expand and then simplify. So it's a plus. It's not a minus. Bloody hell, this question goes on, all gone forever. Thought it was going to be a good exam. Find the value of the maximum area in the form m root n on p where maximum area. So we substitute in, what's the area again? It's that function there, given a equals okay, copy. Okay, and then say given paste, simplify, 128 root 3 on 9. So a of 16 minus 8 root 3 on 3 is equal to 128 root 3 on 9. That's what I got. Okay, trapezium ODBX is formed find the value of A for the trapezium has a maximum area. Find its maximum area. Okay, so the base is 16. The top is B minus A. The height is f of A or f of B. So we'll say f of A. So the area is 1/2 16 plus B, which is B in terms of A, it's root, just makes me going back way too much. Root A minus 4 all squared minus A, so that's top, bottom, and then times the height, which is f of A, which is 4 root A minus A. Okay. A of t, so 1/2, 1/2, 16 plus root A minus 4 squared minus A times root A and then, is it minus 4A minus A, simplify. 4A to the 3 on 2 minus 32A minus 32A plus 64 root A dA t dA is, derive that sucker, set of A equal to 0. So A equals 16 or 16 on 9. A equals 0 is a min. So therefore A equals 16 on 9 and A of t is equal to, so my area is that thing. And then we say given 1,024 on 27 square units. Find A of t on A. This seems like an easy question for a final one. So 1,024 on 27 divided by how do we work out that area? The exact area. 128 on 3. So times the bottom by 9, 1,024 on 9 times 128. Divided by 128 on 3. 8/9. Okay, thank God that's over. That's one of the worst exams I've ever done. So tedious, such stupid things in it. Hopefully none of it's wrong. But yeah, that's hideous. Didn't enjoy that at all. Hopefully you guys did okay on it, but I think it sucked. So yeah, getting closer to the exams. Good luck.